release and surrender. So you could have to release not just a home or a property in the next year, but you might have to release your childhood wounds that have held you back. I know it sounds very psychological, but with Chiron still in your sign squaring all of this, you might be still processing childhood wounds and needing to do some sort of therapeutic or spiritual work to release those things in the first week of September. Hello, Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign. The month of September 2026 is a month that you have a huge amount of flow, ease, and grace. When it comes to matters of money, work, and career reputation, everything is gelling and kind of coming together in a magical formula. So you're going to really enjoy that energy. And at the very same time, Chiron is leaving your sign where he has been parking his bum ever since June 19th. And so having him getting out of your sign may make you feel a little bit less wounded. Maybe even feeling a little bit, something's wrong with me. I can't get this right. Whatever that is, if it's your job stuff, your relationship stuff, your health, whatever. And we're going to dive into how that feels to let this story go for now, but it will be back next April. But you're getting a sigh of relief this month as well. So let's break it down, Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. Let's get started, and welcome to my channel. My name is Lori Lothian. This is Lunatic Astrology, because we are all worshippers of the lunatics in the world, but the moon itself. And we're talking to you all about your sky. And when we do this, we are using the whole sign house system. If you want to cast your chart in whole sign houses, which is the ancient tradition, which is how every YouTube astrologer is delineating your sky, and don't use Placidus. Go check in my description box how to cast your chart in whole sign houses. There's a free video tutorial in there. And just before I get started in our half hour together talking about this month's sky, don't forget that I am a teaching astrologer and I have my flagship program, the 7th in a row, 7th season, 7th year of Sky Reader. This is my flagship. This is to take you from 0 to 100 to learn to read your natal sky, to read the map of time, to time your best life, and use astrology as a navigational tool. You don't have to know astrology. This is a course for beginners. And then next year we have Mapmaker, Codebreaker, but this would be a prerequisite course. If you don't know astrology, come join me. I'd love to have you in class. We're starting on the 19th of September. We're running for 7 weeks this year. We have 6 guest teachers instead of 4. We have a Q&A and Q&A calls every week, a Discord group and more, and also a Facebook group for students. So all of that information about everything we're doing is on my website, lorilothian.com. And I'll put a link below to the Sky Reader description, and you can enroll, of course, if you like. And if you go to the end of this video after we do all signs, I'll also append at the end of the video me going through the website, talking about the course, sharing some thoughts I have about it. So it's like Lori's ad is at the end. All right, so let's get started. All right, Taurus people, bulls of the universe, you guys are in a really interesting time because you're going to go through Chiron in your sign for the next 7 years till 2033 or so. And so this teaser tester, June 19th until about September 17th, is you getting used to a new story. Now, the good news is Chiron is the key to purpose and can indeed help you define a life's goal, purpose, and the use of your natural talents and abilities and your original medicine, the gift you're here to give the world. He will help you focus on that. He's worked with the Aries people for the 7 years before you, actually 9 years, and now it's your turn. So that said, I don't know, you can put in the comments how you've been feeling since about the 19th of June. Have you been on your A game or discombobulated, right? Your sun is your career, your moon is your body, and your home and nest. Your ascendant is your body. And my video editor, Stella, usually inserts somewhere in here the description of the differences between sun, moon, and rising, so you know how to listen for each. I'm going to show you the sky. We're going to go through the astrology of the month week by week so that we should get through that within 30 minutes. So let's get started. And what I'm doing today is I'm really focusing a lot on what every sign needs to hear. Everyone is different. And if you've been struggling with your ability, your health, but also your ability to get your act together when it comes to money or work or career, these things are starting to gel and line up in very flowing and supportive ways for you. And this is a time where if that has been a problem, part of your reality, it should begin in some fundamental way to smooth out. So let me show you the sky so we can look at it together and start talking astrology. Hello, guys. You always ask me, rising sign, sun, or moon. How do I listen to this thing in astrology? Well, your sun is who you really are. Think of it about your spiritual essence, your divine light, the flame of your soul that lives forever, takes on a body, and that body is the ascendant. You might think of your sun sign like the actor who plays the role in the movie. Your sun is the real you, and the role you're playing in the movie, well, that's your rising sign. You tend to look like that sign. You tend to act like the personhood of that character in the simulation. It is not your real self, but you need a vehicle for your spirit to express. And when we look at your moon sign, we think about how you feel and think about life, your happiness, your emotional blueprint, your subjective well being. But you remember, the moon is only reflecting the light of the spiritual essence of you, the sun. So therefore, it's a temporary aspect or an operating system for your consciousness. I see a lot of the time that people's moon sign is really useful when you want to see how you're going to feel about this sky, but it also connects you very strongly to energies of home, safety nest, and mother. The moon is that stuff to do with the nurturant part of reality. When we talk about your sun sign, it can be father related material, but also connections to your purpose and career. For your soul isn't here, it's on planet Earth to do something, right? And we usually call that a purpose of some kind. And lastly, the ascendant, very sensitive to your body, very sensitive to the fates and the circumstances of life. That is where your rising sign is, how you showed up, took the first breath of life. What was the sign on the eastern horizon at the time of birth? That's what the rising sign is. And it's very accurate for delineating astrology, at least until the age of mid-40s. And we begin to move back into our true self, into our solar energy. And we'll notice that our sun sign becomes as accurate, or can be more and more actively useful for prediction. Already, sometimes you'll look at children for the first 7 years and they're operating primarily on sun sign energy. So when you're looking at your kids, definitely listen for their sun sign over their rising sign. All right, guys, here's that short form. Take it away. Let's go into the chart ahead. So here we have the heavens, and there we have the ascendant as 0 degrees. When we do sun and moon, we pretend the sun is here in Taurus, we pretend the moon is here in Taurus, and then we look at the relative how many houses from the sun and moon. So it's just like pretending the sun is in the first house, or the moon as well. So first of all, yes, there goes Chiron getting ready to get the heck out of Dodge and get the hell out of your sign. And there's a feeling for you of relief. He won't be out of there until September the 18th. So the first half of September, you still feel some of these wounds, but after that, you're going to have to shake it off a bit and feel much better about it. Okay, so in the beginning of the month, on September the 1st, Mercury will sextile Mars, and that Mercury-Mars sextile is easy flow of information and the attendant action and decisions you're going to make based on what information you get. Now, when I talk about September 1st, Mercury, 14 degrees of the sign of Virgo, this is a strong Mercury in his home kingdom. He's under the sun's beams, so you won't see the results right away. But there's something trying to happen here with Mars. Mars is not in great shape. What we call Mars is debilitated here in the sign of Cancer. However, the moon is ruling him, and the moon is exalted. So there's a kind of like pass the torch, pass the buck. The buck stops with the moon, and the moon is powerful right now in your sign. All said and done, it feels to me something like you might be making some major decisions around romance, fertility, pregnancy, conception, and children, and making some major life decisions also around creative and entrepreneurial directions that you might want to go in. And Mars in Cancer, in his stability, is indeed, thank goodness, ruled by an extremely powerful lunation over here. So there's something about, even though nothing is perfect and nothing is ideal, you're going to find yourself moving in the right direction. And, you know, Mercury, he's kind of like, is there information here? Is one of your children going to have a baby? Are you or your partner pregnant? Mars is also decisions about cutting, ending, severing. In other words, do you want to keep a pregnancy, is what I'm suggesting. But the moon exalted will lean into a yes, if that's one of you people thinking about an inconvenient pregnancy. Also, the same would apply for your children. And there may be some opportunity for a business situation, like a business enterprise, a business deal, a business opportunity. But if there is a business opportunity, it may require you to travel or to move or to relocate where you live. And you may be considering this at the very same time. So this is a very active on September 1st. Give it a couple of days, the last 2 days of August, and maybe till September 2nd, 3rd, to get the feel of what really is trying to happen here. All right. And Mars and Saturn will have a disagreement, and it's very awkward and quite uncomfortable. Saturn and Mars. Mars is in a condition of fall. Saturn is in a condition of fall. For the world astrology, we astrologers are feeling a little bit concerned. This square energy has been building up at the end of September from about the 26th, 27th of September through until September the 2nd. So those first couple of days of September, there may be some real difficult decisions or actions that need to be taken. They can be about quitting or ending something. In particular, maybe quitting or ending um, um, a travel plan, a relocation situation needs attention. It may be quitting and ending something connected to your job or your career. You may be handing in your resignation, or then maybe they're laying people off. And the other one would you might be thinking about cutting out, quitting, or ending a certain group of people in your life, your friends in your local environment, maybe, or siblings. And there may be some disputes with somebody as well that is in your local environment that's bringing a great sense of hardship. Now, not to overthink it, but father figures in hospital places, yes, that could happen here. So if you have an elder parent who's male, or maybe an elder parent in general, there may be some concern for that person's health around this time, the end of August and the first couple of days of September. All right. Jupiter, though, is going to do some very sweet stuff. And starting on September 1st, you already feel it. From September the 1st until about the 5th, Jupiter is in a love flow to Saturn. He's almost trying to fix the problem. It's like, okay, yeah, that was difficult, whatever the story was that I was just explaining to you. And Jupiter tries to give it a sweet spot. Now, I like Jupiter in your fourth house. He'll be here until next August. It means bigger and better home. It means larger, more opulent home. It means justice and fairness in the home. It means good things happening to do with opulence or riches or luck and prosperity connected to land, property, and real estate. It is a legacy wealth signature. Yes, you could be, the trine could be to the elder in the hospital passing money your way from your family of origin, but it can also be about a move. And because of Mars's actual position here, it looks like you might be going into a change of residence, a change of home. There are hardships here. Maybe all Mars fallen in Cancer is he's going to miss the family. Cancer is a sign of the kinfolk, the family, and he's cutting away from it. Some of you may be moving and you realize I'm moving far from my family. And that could give you a sense of disease, uncomfortableness. But Jupiter is saying it's opportunity, everybody. Saturn says, yeah, and I'm fallen too. So um, I would say one more thing. You have to let go, South Node, of stuff here. Release and surrender. So you could have to release not just a home or a property in the next year, but you might have to release your childhood wounds that have held you back. I know it sounds very psychological, but with Chiron still in your sign squaring all of this, you might be still processing childhood wounds and needing to do some sort of therapeutic or spiritual work to release those things in the first week of September. As we move towards the 10th of September, we move into a new moon in Virgo, 18 degrees of Virgo. What do I like about the moon? Well, first of all, what I really like about the moon, and by the way, let's just give you a little love up here. Watch for September 3rd, some unexpected surprises about money. September 2nd, 3rd, kaboom. Are you going to get a up level, a higher level of power in the work, get your dream job? There's something nice there for you around September 2nd, 3rd. But then we move the moon and everybody else forward. And what I want to point to is that the moon, which is moving all of the time, there you are, cutting away from home, slicing away from home, snipping away from the home, snipping away from emotional attachments in your larger social groups as well around September 6th. But then we get to the lunation on the 10th. So we're going to say every time we see a new moon in Virgo, we need to ask Mercury what his agenda is. And this can be multiple things because Mercury is sitting in the 6th house. The new moon could ask you to seed or plant a lunation, a moon, a new beginning that lasts for 6 months as you approach the full moon 6 months later, connected to creative, artistic, or entrepreneurial endeavors. On the other hand, the 5th house can also say, is it time to plant a new moon in a new job that you're using your natural talents and gifts in? Like this job is made for you. You were made for it. Have a son. I was made for you and you were made for me, It's because the fifth house is what brings you joy, enthusiasm, and pleasure. It's where your natural spark of enlivenment is and vitality. And yet Mercury in the job and work house may say it's a job that is like a dream job. You are like so delighted. It's like a dream come true. It makes you happy. And there may be a new beginning as well, a new job coming your way. So whatever the new moon is, seeding something is also as simple as pregnancy, because this is a house of fertility and conception. This is where you and your partner or your children need to be careful around conception and pregnancy, especially with a broad square from Uranus that could be unexpected pregnancy. Now, on the next story, which will be around the 11th, we're going to see Mars and the Sun from about the 11th of the month until the 17th of September in a continuous sextile to each other. This is very unusual because Mars is moving at a certain slow pace and he's tracking with the Sun. These two are having, well, actually kind of moving fast, but they're having a story together. One thing about this 11th to the 17th Sun and Mars sextile, I kind of would encourage you under this energy to take some major decision making jumps or leaps of faith. It's pretty exact on the 13th, right? And the 14th and the 15th and the 16th. And it could ask, okay, I need to make a choice, or I need to leave, or I need to travel, or I need to take action here. And this is like writing, communicating, teaching, learning, marketing, selling. And this is the house of children. This is a house of love and romance. And this is a house of creative and entrepreneurial endeavors. Still ruled by Mercury, though, here. So is that a new job opportunity that brings you a sense of a new birth, rebirth, enlivenment, and fun? But this is really saying decisions and actions are rewarded because at this point, the Sun allows for the flow state to emerge rather than a crisis of any kind. And Mercury will create a beautiful air trine coming up here as well. Mercury will be talking to Uranus for a happy surprise while he's also talking to Pluto retrograde. And in fact, they're approaching each other. Pluto is power and wealth, and North Node is worldly success. In the next 2 years, all right, next year and a half to 2 years, I'll guarantee that you're going to have more worldly success in matters of your career than you've ever had before. This is your time to shine and to be more powerful and more wealthy and more transformed through the work you are doing. While that is happening, you'll see an early nice glow up here. This is around September 12th to the 14th, where Mercury enlivens the whole triangle of air. This is a surprise or shock around your money, earnings, and resources. Well, with Jupiter here, it's going to be positive. And this is also the energy of Mercury flowing to Pluto. To me, this triangle looks like you're going to up level in your career success and your finances in a very positive way. This could be the day you get the news you got the job. This could be the day you find out there's an interview awaiting you. This is the day you are doing something really good. And I say day, but it's days, September 12th to the 14th. Mid-September looks so good on you. Feeling that the September vibe is super positive, which it is, and you're enjoying that mid-September yay you moment, you're going to also notice that you get rid of Chiron. And I think that will feel for many Tauruses like a big relief. Okay. If it doesn't feel like a relief, let me know. That will be transitioning around the 17th, 18th out of your sign. On the September 12th to the 17th, just kind of like that overlapping of the air trine, Venus and Pluto have a real tough square. It's very short lived. It's 12 to the 17th. It's not the end of the world, but as you know it, but it's also with Venus, your Lord, in debility. So Venus rules you. She's squaring Pluto in the house of your work. So from about the 12th to the 17th, you are coming into some kind of tension, maybe between your job and work and a marriage partner, maybe between you and Really, it's hard to say, but maybe you're having troubles with pets, okay? Even that, Venus rules your house of pets, and there's a chironic opposition to Venus. Well, Venus is squaring Pluto. That T square can be a loss of a pet, challenges with a pet, the death of a pet. Sorry, this is real astrology, a health challenge with a pet. But it can also be a really strong disagreement and wounding in a long-term committed love relationship or a business deal. This is your business partnerships, and something could kind of go south because Pluto is the death of something. So, if there was some kind of agreement around employment, this is your house of employment, either that is going to have a problem or there needs to be something done to fix something going on with an employment opportunity. Now, I know I sort of contradicted myself, but it's not really. This is like a short glitch in the story compared to the big picture, a delay even in something to do with job, career agreements, and legal contracts. That's what I see. I do see that. Venus exalts your friendship circles and a sibling one older, and there may be some challenges with those people as well. Sibling one older, groups of friends of belonging, and some kind of difficult tension between you and them. Power of love and the love of power is how I would code that. Don't forget, Venus is ruled by Mars. She's in Mars's sign, and Mars is not doing well. He's fallen in the sign of Cancer. And so right away, even the moon who rules the sign of Cancer is in what we call exile or fallen moon, exiled Venus, and fallen Mars. There's no way to say it. It's a difficult moment for you. The only thing I'd say that creates some mitigation is the sun is in a trinal relationship to everybody, trying to hold fort in what I would call trying to bring a sense of enlivened good fortune to difficult circumstances. Be careful. This is again unexpected pregnancy considerations for you or your children, and difficulties in a relationship because of matters of creativity, fertility, pregnancy, a location change, move, or conflict between you and another person in your life, like a spouse and your work situation, like pitted against each other. All right, it's not always a bed of roses. The rest of the month is like we're flowing through the sextile energy between Pluto and we won't do it. It's Barbo's basket, all that stuff. We did it to death. Venus, though, Venus herself on the 15th to the 17th, Lord of your sign, is important energy here for you. Because she rules you, I have to draw your attention to what she's doing. This is your ruler squaring that Pluto. I've already touched on it, but I just want you to think about what real power means to you. What does real power mean to you? This is the key piece that you need to take away, because ultimately you're trying to express authoritative success in a career setting, and somebody might be coming up against that in a very difficult way for you to deal with. You have to transcend a wounded feeling, Chiron is there, that you are somehow not able to receive the power, the wealth, and the goodness you want. For example, your spouse doesn't like the fact that you're going to get a job, but it requires you to commute. And then you're going to spend less time together because you have to drive 40 minutes a day there and back. And yet you want the job. It's your dream job. I'm making something up. There is a need for you to stand your ground. I'm going to give you the best advice I can. Stand your ground when somebody else is raining on your parade is what I'm getting. Okay? And so you can see the 15th to the 17th even. This story is very, very, very tight. Okay. Mercury says love is hard. No, sorry, love. Mercury says information or conversations are difficult on the 18th of the month. Mercury is having a moment on the 18th of the month. Saturn, retrograde, in a condition of fall. Mercury in Libra. 1-in-1 energy. Now, this is an employment house or hiring somebody, whether you're hiring someone or they're hiring you. And this is backroom deals and negotiations, ironing out the paperwork or something. Saturn is retrograde and with Neptune realistic, but this may connect to your past. This could also be a health challenge, and it may be one that you've had before coming back to haunt you. And you may be dealing with some difficult circumstances with figuring out either an addiction or a health challenge. This is an addiction. This is coming to terms with your health. And Mercury here, because you get your blood work and it's bad. There's a hard stop on some thing that you might do to create bad health. Hard stop energy around the September 17th timeframe. And you may also be looking at legal conversations and legal dealings to eliminate debt or take possession of money connected to legacy wealth and family of origin inheritance monies coming through at this time. Again, around the 17th of the month, 18th of the month. Then the good news lands on your doorstep. Mercury trines sextiles Jupiter. Good news. Okay, so it's kind of 1, 2, 3, 17th, 18th, ouchie, 19th, and then good news shows up on the 20th. Let's take a look at the good news. Oh, why am I going there? Okay, hours. All right. So Mercury is telling you, as he has a conversation with Jupiter, that there's some good news on the horizon. Now, this is lovely news if it has to do with job, employment, working from home, things to do with pets and success, things to do with um, location changes of home connected to rentals or to negotiating mortgages and loans and contracts for the buying and selling of property. This is going to be extremely auspicious. I think it's more likely to, under this sky, look like rental agreements, but it could also mean refinancing, purchasing, or buying property. Luck is here for you. Mercury is in good shape in Libra. The flow is incredible. Also, an awesome time to get a pet. The window for this little glow up, love up, juicy period of time is the 19th. No, I can't deal. It's the 19th. I can't deal with trying to hold your sign in place. Give me a minute. This is just me. I mean to go by a day. I'm having tech issues. Okay, 16th. So 19th, 20th, 21. 19, 20, 21. Wow, just very nice, sweet energy here for you. I can't see the downside. I think it's about contracts, agreements as well, Libra. Work, employment, pets, debts, financing, home, property, real estate, land, and inheritance money. Okay? All right, moving into or spousal support agreements and separations. All right, moving into the next narrative. After we enjoyed that Mercury sextile Jupiter, it will be in play all the way through to the 22nd, actually. What we get into next is the idea that we have the Sun opposite Neptune, while also trining Pluto. So the Sun is going to make a certain story happen that has been brewing away in the background. Okay. So when I see this, oh, did I miss the lunation for you? Sorry, I had like a brutal acupuncture session and I'm not doing well today. We have a new moon in Virgo. I did do it. Thank goodness. That was your conception pregnancy moon. Okay, so the Sun opposite Neptune around the 25th. Sun, Neptune, opposition, trine Pluto. That's called a wedge, and a wedge is actually quite auspicious, and it could indicate something very positive happening. When it comes to things to do with your career, backroom deals and negotiations, dream come true job, and maybe anything to do with employment, work, servants, or people you hire, you're more likely being hired than hiring others. But this feels to me like what happens is, especially if you go somewhere Neptunian for work, this could have some of you find employment in a far off land, foreign shore, or distant place. And Neptune means near water, and Aries means hot. And Saturn retrograde, you've been there in the past, or this has been an opportunity from the past returning. Also, really good for getting the boss to approve of something for you, where you get another level of power, wealth, a raise, a promotion. This is that vibe here for you. And thank you, Sun, for the support. The Sun is your best friend here. Support is coming from solar energy in Libra, and this means that you're going to enjoy the ride. And in fact, if you want to go back to what happened around the 12th to the 14th, when Mercury was making the same air trine, now the Sun is doing it too. And when the Sun continues forward, then it gives you a kind of surprise. And just like Mercury might have done the 12th to the 14th of September, now around the 25th to the 27th of the month, it's Uranus's turn. In fact, the tighter this gets, the better it gets. So this is really where you want to say, put September 27th on your calendar. On September 27th, some financial surprise, opportunity, good thing is happening. Because the sun is ruling your fourth house, it can be more about that inheritance money or the legacy well, but it can also be about property, land, home, and real estate. Under this kind of sky, you guys could definitely be buying or selling real estate, land or property, moving to a new home, or renting a new home. Whatever this is, it's got surprises in it. So it's hard for me to predict it for you because you have to expect the unexpected. All right. I can't tell you how else to do it except just get ready for the unexpected. Two more things happening at the end of the month of importance. Mars will move into Leo. Now, he's not going to be in rough shape anymore, but this is usually construction in the home, hammering in the home, can be some fighting or arguing in the home, but not with Jupiter. Arguing is less likely. This can look like moving your home. Now, sometimes we pack the bags when we're in the third house. You might already have moved, but otherwise you're getting ready to think, do I want to stay where I live? Because August the 28th to November 25th, you may be relocating. And because of a bunch of retrogrades coming, he will be back here later in the year, next year, actually. So there's a lot to say about you either building a home, buying a home, constructing a home, changing a home. You get it, my drift, right? Or maybe even moving your home. So if you do want to move your home, August 28th to November 25th, that was going to be under Mars's fire, and it's going to be protected by Lord Jupiter. And so property home changes, August 28th to November 25th, are good for you. So before that, it's all the slog of the prep work, but this could be the relocation change. On the 26th of September, we see a full lunation in Aries at 3 degrees. A new beginning is starting. Oh, a full moon. Oh my God. A full moon in Aries is happening on April 26th at 17 degrees. Here's the full moon. It's lighting up your 12th house. A fulfillment of a plan you seeded on April 17th. Sorry. The new moon of April 17th is fulfilling itself here on September the 26th, 27th. On September 26th, 27th, you are coming to a fulfillment of a seed planted in April. It can be about a move. It can be about money from an inheritance. It can be about quitting an addiction. Now you've got a fulfillment here. You've got a light on it. It's showing you how to do it. It's revealing what you need to know. Full moons are really also good for releasing and completing something. So if you've been trying to heal, Chiron, Neptune, Saturn contain and structure addictions or escapist activities, this is going to heal it. This is going to show you how to do it for sure. And one thing else to say before we finish up, I'm having a hot flash. It is that Mercury is going to be leaving at the end of the month and crossing over the sign boundary as you move into the next month. And the good news about that is this is where anything to do as you begin to move through October with that retrograde Venus coming through. But I'm going to give you some good news. This is really good for negotiating deals and contracts, even if Mercury is with a debilitated Venus. However, in long-term committed love stories, there may be a lot of conversation, a lot of negotiation coming up as you end the month of September and go into October. There's a whole new focus. Stay tuned for next month's videos. We'll be diving into the long retrograde of Venus. I want to make one more statement. Venus doesn't pass the 8-degree mark here. So if you are a Taurus sun, moon, and rising, and your sun, moon, or rising is in the first 8 degrees of Taurus, this is going to be an important month because your 0 to 8 degree sun, moon, or rising sign will have a lot of back and forth going on as Venus massages over stories that began for you in September and will continue to be worked on through until Venus leaves Scorpio on October the 25th. Okay, so things that happen on September the 10th will not really be fully understood until October the 25th as she rolls back over her old ground that she traveled. She does go retrograde on October the 3rd. So to be really specific for Taurus, okay, let's make it clear for you. You're doing something in your life, all Taurus is here, that begins on September 10th. Legal contracts, negotiations, relationship stuff. That begins on September 10th. On October 3rd, Venus says, we have to go back over this ground. Something's not right. We have to figure something out. We left something behind. So then October 3rd, she heads into her retrograde. And by October 25th, she's going back over all the things that happened September 10th to October 3rd. So you may have a misdirection in this month as well. So be a little bit more circumspect when it comes to relationship agreements, contracts, and legal agreements that you might be making September 10th to October the 3rd. They may have to be redone again. All right, that's what I got. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And at the end of this video, you'll find my talk about Sky Reader, hopefully not more than like 7 minutes, showing you the website, giving you my thoughts about the program. After 7 years of teaching it, I've gotten it better and better every time, making it simpler and simpler, easier and easier. Hello, Astro Curious Soul. This is your overview of Sky Reader, and I want to tell you a bit about the program. I'm going to show you the website that I'm hosting it at, mylorilothian.com. I want to share a bit about my excitement for this course and why I think it might be right for you. First of all, if you're one of those people who watches all of my videos and then ask me these very intelligent questions in the comments all of the time about why this and why that and how this and how that, then you're probably already ready for this course, because it is your curiosity about how to read the sky. That is what Sky Reader is for. Astrology is about the map of time. It's so simple. It's like a GPS of time. And once you learn the basic language of your natal chart, then you'll learn some easy to use timing tools that even a beginner can learn with me. You're going to begin to navigate your reality with a better flow, a better ease, a better kind of sense that you know how to move through the world in a way that has your best interest at heart, because you're flowing with the things that are happening anyway. You're moving in the direction that the sky is taking you. So instead of resisting, instead of digging your heels in, or even going in a misdirection temporarily, the universe always course corrects. You can move wholeheartedly with great faith in the universe into the path that the sky is opening for you. Now, life is full of ups and downs, and astrology can't take those away. So even learning to read your sky doesn't mean you learn to avoid any of life's normal storylines. It means that you now have your eye on the ball, you have your heads up of timing your best life. And sometimes timing your best life is nothing more than being able to navigate what you can see coming and respond to it in a more mature, aware, and present way. You know, I had this big calamity happen a while ago, and I could see that I was being grabbed by the sky. And this interpersonal difficulty wasn't just about the other person. It was about the sky playing out in the real world, real-time sky, relative to my personal Aquarius rising natal chart. And because I realized it was just the sky playing out, I was able not to become interacting with the ordeal in a reactive way. So there's a lot of really good ways you can use astrology to do your life better. A lot of my students come back every single year. If you take my class once, you get to take it again and again forever. Plus, you get to keep the content as well and upgrade yourself. And when you come back as a student for the second time, it is 75% off, which is incredibly amazing, given that each time there's new content and new guest teachers, as well as, of course, me teaching you to read your own sky and time your best life. So this is the website, lorilothian.com/sky-reader, if you want to find that way, or just Google lorilothian.com and Sky Reader, and you'll find this page usually showing up in the search engine. Now, throughout the month of August, we have our early bird discount rate of $397. The course is $555, and that is actually a deal for the 7 weeks with me, plus the live calls and the Q&As, plus moderating staff, teaching staff helping me, and a Facebook group and a Discord group this year as well. Now, read your own sky, 7-week foundation. Here you go. I'm not going to redo this. This is a little video of me explaining it to you that's already uploaded to the website. Now, you can do monthly installments in payment plans if you need to, if money is any issue for you. For those of you in really deep need, like, you know what I mean, like needs-based tuition kind of discounts, you'll have to reach out to my team, and you'll see that the information for that will be available here on the website, but it would be hello@inbox.lorilothian.com. But really, the course is already well priced. So here we have me with a funny picture of me. Thanks, team. I love it. I look like I'm very happy, and I'm wearing white. Isn't that sweet? And then one of the things I will show you about, not the whole sales page, is what the program is actually about. So here's some of the outline of the actual material. As you can see, we have what I call the big four. You're going to learn about the most This is the second class. The first one is your absolutely slow start, super kindergarten hand-holding level to introduce you to the very basic tenets of how to read a sky, what the sky looks like, and what the ingredients of the sky are made out of. So that's your overview course. Some of you may not need that. Some of you may have been well established in astrology already, and for you, this will be extremely boring. But everyone who knows me knows that I think that the foundations in a beginning class, just understanding the language right away, is going to be crucial. You're learning a new language like French or Greek or whatever, and you're not going to get it all at once. It's going to take time, just like osmosis, like more exposure to it. So this is our week one, slow start overview. And then we move into the course itself. You can go to the website and click the details, the big 4 of the 12 houses, planetary dignity, planets and aspects, time lords, helmsmen, and annual profections. Now, this last part of the course, this is your golden ticket to success. You might think you know about, for example, annual profections. Well, I've been teaching annual profections for years, and I've got some insider trading tips there for you about how to use it in a way you may not have heard of before. And it's so easy to use that you could teach your kids and children and, friends and fam to use it once you get the lay of that land. And solar returns, of course, the birthday chart. Everyone loves their birthday chart. It gives you a whole snapshot of everything that happens at a given age. Again, I've taught this class many times, and I've also done this for clients for 7 or 8 years, and you'll be learning a few things you won't find anywhere else about how to read that solar return chart and understand what happens in the year. Everything about this course leads to how to time your life. This is not a course that's teaching you how to navel gaze. I'm not here to show you the quirks of your personality in the simulation called life. I'm not here to help you navigate your past and talk about why it happened. Those are not the courses we're teaching. We're teaching you how to read the sky so you can use the GPS metric of the sky, astrology, as a map of time to time your best life. So this is a course that teaches you to become an forecaster or a navigator of reality in a more successful way. So reminding you of that. I get people in this class who want to talk about my Chiron, or my Pluto. And I'm like, nah, no, we don't do that. This is not going to dive into your archetypal, character in the simulation, your wounds and stuff like that. We're learning to teach you how to time your life in this particular class. All right. Now, this is my 7th year teaching, as a lot of you know, so I've gotten to know a lot of the issues that come up, and that was just one of those issues that is routinely showing up. We have 7 core classes. We have 28 actual sessions. We have teaching team Q&A plus me on my own Q&A. So you've got a couple Q&As to choose from per week. We change the time. So everywhere in the world, you'll probably be able to make one. Everything I do has a course replay. Everything I do is loaded into the teaching platform for you to keep forever. If you can't make the live classes, if you can't make any of the Q&As, you can still come and learn from me. However, I'm not reselling this course. I have never resold this course as a self-study. So if you really want to jump in, this would be your chance. These are, and I always say I may not teach it next year. It's always possible with 2 books in my on the shelf to finish, 2 books to finish, 1 astrology, 1 spiritual awakening, and actually 1 fiction book. I would like to get those written in the next year. So just be aware of that. This can be an introduction to my next course next year, Mapmaker, and also Codebreaker. In other words, this would give you the basic understanding to jump into my more intensive and more advanced courses next year. Now, I have guest workshops every year. Last year, I had 4 teachers. Now I have 6. This is just bonus content. This is just extra material for you to enjoy. So we begin on October 1st. Every Thursday, we have guest teachers. And I will see if I can figure out where on my website that my team put that. But just so you know, those guest workshops will teach you some very fundamental, fun things to do in astrology. So here we have it. 6 ways to see where it can lead. Lovely, lovely team headlines here. So one of my colleagues and students, former students, Sinette Caldwell Barr, is doing the 4 I always can't say this word, Purusharthas, and this is a great tool of understanding where your purpose, your prosperity, your spiritual liberation, and your pleasure and your money stuff lie in your chart. So I think you'll enjoy that. It's easy to learn. It's very powerful, and it really does help you see how to navigate life. Mel is going to be teaching where in the world you might want to live or travel based on astrology and how you can look at your astrocartography chart. And we'll also have Laura Basseni teaching about the Cosmic Wellness Blueprint. She is a health coach, but also a medically trained astrologer, like medical astrology, and you'll learn some some basics about finding your own energetic elemental and modality elements for better health and wellness, and also prevention, I suppose. Donnie Lim, my colleague, who's very much an expert on all things Venus. You guys may have seen him on my channel with me doing world astrology. He's really fun to hang with. Is teaching the divine feminine cycles for timing, okay? Divine feminine cycles and timing. And so he'll be taking you down the Venus conversation road for her cycles and how to use that in your life for all ways to move forward, especially with love and pleasure and desire and money. Justin McClure is an electional astrology teacher today for us in our course, and he will teach you how to choose the best time to launch your business, make that phone call, hire that lawyer, whatever, get married, etc. Electional astrology teaches you some of the basic understanding that when you begin something, then you set in motion that thing forever. In other words, it bears like a birth chart stamp. So knowing when to launch something into motion is important. It's funny, a lot of us astrologers on YouTube do this all the time. When we want to do something big and splashy or promote something, we'll look for a very good sky and a very good time of day in that sky to put it out for you guys on YouTube. So you'll also notice all of a sudden every astrologer is emailing you on the same day. A lot of us are using electional times. Tara and Renee will be teaching us the cosmic magic of numerology when you blend it with astrology. I love this combination. I've been doing this for myself for years. So if you want to learn how to illuminate your reality by making these two pieces of the real estate, numerology and astrology, two occult disciplines come together, that's your ticket to fun. All of these courses on Thursday evenings, okay, at 6 p.m. Pacific time, are available for you for replay and self-study, and you get to keep them forever. But if you attend live, of course, you can ask questions for the teacher and be engaged in a live learning process. Now, just alone, these courses would be easily costing a couple $100 for 6 courses. So you can see what a deal Sky Reader really is. We come together every single Saturday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Adjust for your time in Europe. Usually you guys are 8 hours difference than we are in Pacific time, but ask Siri, Google, or timeanddate.com, etc. So you know exactly when we're coming together. And here we have a lovely little schedule drawn up of all of the times for everything to happen. You could just take a look at that by going to the website, screenshot it or whatever, but there you are. So we may not repeat this live edition. I always say that. You always never believe me, but there will be a point, 7th year teaching, you get the 7-year itch, which is a Saturn cycle, that I may have to take a break in order to write some of these books that I need to get done or that I want to get done. So go ahead, Facebook group, Discord group. It's not where I'm monitoring your homework, but you do get homework. It's where you got collaboration and support from my moderators, encouragement. You can tag me or my moderators for help, but I'm not there checking your homework like you're being certified by me to become an astrologer, but it is a very useful group. Other students ahead of you or former students will probably be there. People help each other when you're confused, and my moderators will also be astrologers who are also supporting you when you have questions about what you're doing. Nobody in this course is doing the work for you. You do get homework. It's totally optional. It's to practice the methods you're learning as you learn them. All right, so here we have it. We're at the end of it. These are some great people who decided, my students, to give me some wonderful testimonials over the years in the various classes I've taught. You're seeing a lot of my last class group, the Divine Timing Masterclass. Give me some commentary there, but Sky Reader, people come back every year to do it over and over again because it actually is a lot of fun. So I hope some of you will consider joining me, and I am so excited. We have a nice little gathering of 29 countries and 325 students already signed up, and we are well supported to make sure that you have a good time and that you don't get lost as you go along. I do have staff, I have teaching assistants, but it is me in that Zoom room for 2 hours. It usually ends up being 2 hours every single Saturday. And I'm also available in one of the weekly Q&As of the 2 each week. All right. Thanks, guys. Don't forget, this is just an overview. Hopefully it gives you some lay of the land. Go to LoriLothian.com/sky-reader.
Lunatic astrology.